welcome to another episode of Rainbow Popcorn. We are 2 out of 3 brothers talking about stuff on the screens. Hello, Brett.
Hello, Lee.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. The screens we're going to talk about today are little ones in the back of other people's seats.
In back of other people's seats, or in certain planes, they don't have them,
Yeah.
but they do have something. So we'll discuss.
Okay. All right. Let's discuss with a drink. And we are keeping rolling through the pub classics from Tinnies. And this
got
is the
lemon
alcoholic
squash.
lemon squash. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my god,
Oh.
that's
You going to ask me if this one's off too?
well. It's not on.
It's not a hard rated, that's for sure.
It's definitely not a hard rated lemon lime, no sugar.
You know what they don't have in Japan?
Hard rated.
Hard rated.
You know what they don't have in Bali?
Hard rated.
Hard rated.
You know
Plenty
they-
of cruises though.
You know what they do have though? Yes. They're not called cruises. Though.
oh, Smirnoff Ice.
Smirnoff
thingies.
Ice in different flavors. You know what they also have? 2-for-1 Long Island iced teas from 4 to 6 p.m.
That was
Danger.
the first night I got there. Was the let's everybody get the drunkest you'll be the whole time here. I'm not saying that I contributed to it, but we did miss the bus to the sunset.
And
But
I
the beach was there. Again.
also forgot which way we left the hotel in order to go to the restaurant.
What do you mean?
'Cause you know, the next day we were to the auntie. Oh, the bus.
Oh,
the bus
to-
is at the back at the hotel. I'll show you where that is. And she's like, "Oh, I know where that is. It's where we went
the
to
same way we went to
the same way we
Mamma
went
Mia.
to the restaurant.
Yep, that's where they shot Mamma
And-
Mia.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I was like, "Oh, did we go that way?" She's like, "Yeah, I had to help you down the stairs."
You were very inebriated.
It was my
that
birthday
first
week.
night there.
I was allowed to
Um,
be a little bit.
And it was an interesting
loose.
choice for me to do that after I'd woken up at Australian time,
Yep.
4 a.m. No, Australian time, 3 a.m.
Okay.
And then flown, got to the airport.
On Jetstar.
No, I flew on Garuda
Oh, okay.
to
right.
Bali.
Yeah.
I don't do Jetstar. I'm not bougie about a lot of things, but I'm not Jetstar.
We did Jetstar home. No, thanks.
No. Why? Because they bloody oversell your flight. And then flew. I had a little thing watching a movie, which we'll discuss.
We'll get to.
And then got home after going out at Bali at what 1?
Well, between 1 and 2, which is between 3 and 4.
Yeah, so
Melbourne
24-hour day for me with a little nap in between. And that's the power of the Long Island iced tea, everybody.
It's a power
you'll
of
get you
when
through.
you mix
Get
4
you through.
alcohols with Coca-Cola.
And then me going the third place we went to, I guess. Going, can I please have something with no sugar in it? Because I've had enough sugar. I
that
can't
was
take
me
any
on the
more
night
sugar.
that was actually my birthday.
I
By the
felt
time
unwell that
we'd
night.
drunk the cocktails and had this huge dinner,
Yeah.
their Stonewall in Bali sells buckets of Smirnoff ices,
Yeah, for like $30.
and they are sweet.
Yeah, because there's the lemon ones aren't bad. But then
The
there's
red ones,
pink
and the
lemonades.
pink ones. Oh, I was just like, I can't drink any more of this.
Yeah.
And even the wet pussy shots were too sweet.
I didn't have one of them.
Oh, well, it's a gay bar. Where else are you? What
I know.
else are you going to have?
I know. Makes perfect sense.
So we
Yes.
have done some flying recently.
Yeah, you've done a little bit more flying than me.
Yeah, because I went to Japan. In case you missed Breast taking me the piss out of me saying that a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
And so on planes, you watch movies,
You do.
and if your seat doesn't have a screen in it,
Uh-huh.
you have to download them on your app
Yep.
and watch on your phone or iPad or laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I had a problem with that on the way to Japan.
Okay.
So I flew from Melbourne to Kuala Lumpur to Tokyo.
Oh, it doesn't do in one thing.
There is a direct, but
a
it's
lot more
twice the
expensive.
price.
Okay, yeah. Well, I would do that.
And so Mission Impossible Final Reckoning,
Day 1, Part 2.
no,
Okay.
is out at the moment in cinemas as of recording this. By the time
Wasn't there one out last year?
the year before, there was Dead
I've missed
Reckoning
a whole
Part
year.
1. So what's happened is they
Oh,
made
okay.
Dead Reckoning Part 1 and then they decided to change the title of the last one to The Final Reckoning, not Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Oh,
But they
right.
haven't gone back to rename Dead Reckoning Part 1 Dead Reckoning.
okay.
They also haven't gone back to rename 1, 2, and 3 anything other than 1, 2, and 3 because it goes Mission Impossible 1, MI2, Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So after they have names.
Yes.
And then, where are they?
Under M.
Yeah, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Mission Impossible.
And then Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and then Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. So Final Reckoning is
Okay.
in cinemas at the moment and it's the last we're going to see of Ethan Hunt before Paramount offers
Aw.
Tom Cruise a whole lot of money to make a TV series version of it.
He better not star in it.
He won't. And so I decided on Paramount Plus, I was going to download all of the Mission Impossibles
Yep.
from 1 to Rogue Nation
Yep.
and watch them because I had 13 hours of flying as well as a 3-hour layover in KL.
Oh, okay. Right.
So I watched Mission Impossible 1 and snoozed through Mission Impossible 2 because it's the worst one.
Yep.
Then I got to Kuala Lumpur, went to the Hard Rock Cafe and got a fish and chips.
As you do.
Then found a spot near the gate because Kuala Lumpur's weird about gate lounges, but I won't go into that because it's not a travel podcast. Opened up Paramount Plus, and even though it's downloaded, Paramount Plus said Paramount Plus is not available in Malaysia.
Yep.
So
That's the issue I had.
for the rest of the trip, including even when I was on a VPN in Japan, Paramount Plus thought I was in Malaysia
Oh.
because that's where I last opened it or something. So I couldn't
even though
watch.
you couldn't put a VPN saying you're in Australia.
No,
Oh, that's weird.
I couldn't watch on my phone where I'd had them downloaded any of the Mission Impossibles.
Oh, so it was an impossible mission.
Yeah. Even though I choose
It's
to accept
unfortunate.
it. When we have gotten home, however, we have watched 1, 2, and 3 because I watched 1 and 2, but Shane didn't. So Shane and I have watched 1 and 2. Both agreed 2 is the worst. 3 is good. They got J.J. Abrams on board to save the franchise because
Like they did
MI2
with Star Wars.
really should have been a franchise killer if you go back and watch it. That's the one I mentioned last episode where they think the Outback is close to the Sydney Harbour
Yep.
Bridge.
Yep.
And then they was produced by J.J. Abrams but directed by Brad Bird, who made The Incredibles,
Yeah.
was
okay.
Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And that is the most ridiculous one. That's the one where he climbs the building in Dubai.
Okay.
The Burj
The
Khalifa.
building.
The
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he climbs the building. It's ridiculous with electromagnetic gloves that break down. So then he just jumps off the building. And that's good. We're going to watch Rogue Nation tonight and then Final Reckoning Part 1 and hopefully catch the end of the IMAX run of Final Reckoning.
No. Nice.
So
I did have a similar experience with downloading, but then it was somewhat successful, but it was a struggle was real. Because Stan
yes,
not available outside Australia.
just Australian.
So then I had
10
to,
years of Stan.
Oh yeah,
Yoshio,
I know.
yeah.
It pops up every time I open the app. Pops up, says no, so I've got a VPN.
Okay,
Then it
yeah.
kind of worked, but then on the plane back from Bali,
Mm.
it was I couldn't work out the correct combination of being on airplane mode but on the Virgin Wi-Fi
And on a VPN.
and on a VPN.
Yep.
And so that took me too long. And so I was like, nah, fuck this. And so I eventually worked out how I could just watch something downloaded on my phone.
Yep.
Because Virgin doesn't have seat TVs.
Okay. You can just join their Wi-Fi.
You join their Wi-Fi and then you can watch their selection of movies, TV shows,
your
and
own
podcasts
device.
on your own device. But what they do have is this like cradle thingy.
Oh, yeah.
So you fold down your tray table
Mm.
and then there's the hook thingy that you can sit
It's
your
hot.
phone /
On
iPad.
Jetstar, they're higher up in the seat.
So yeah, so you're like looking at it.
Yeah. And
So
you
I'm
can
like-
still have your meal
Yeah.
and
I'm
yeah,
like,
watch it up
this is a great idea. Whoever
Yeah.
made that up, well done. It also fit my iPad, which is a big iPad. So that
Oh,
worked
yeah.
well. But then I took it down because I'm like, that looks obnoxiously big.
Because
And
half the
everybo-
iPad's
yeah.
above everyone else's
And
seat.
everybody behind me, row 14 onwards, is looking.
Is watching what
Yeah.
you're watching.
Yeah. And they didn't have, I wasn't in the business class where they have the thinnest of thin curtains going.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Just a token
Yeah.
curtain, thinner than this flags we've got hanging back
It
here.
was ridiculous. Anyway.
On the way over, Malaysian Airlines did have a screen in the back of the seat.
Okay, good.
And
So did Garuda on the way over.
on the way from Malaysia to Tokyo, I had queued up a few movies to watch,
Yep.
but then decided to watch the original Naked Gun
Because we watched the trailer for the
because
new
we watched the
one.
trailer for the new one and it is coming out later this year. I got halfway through it and fell asleep. And then I was snoozing. So I decided to watch something that I've already watched. And I've actually forgotten what that is. So I could sleep
Great.
through that for the rest of the flight.
Yep.
Because I wanted something on as like background, but I didn't want something that I wanted to pay attention to. Then I had the same issue because Netflix Japan doesn't have the Naked Gun.
Oh.
So I have half watched the
Okay.
Naked Gun.
Yep.
But it gave me enough to know that we had the question when we watched the trailer whether or not he was a bumbling idiot, Pink Panther style, whether he was a good cop that does things his own way. It's more in that column, the latter,
Okay.
which is what Liam Neeson's going to be in the new one.
Right.
So that took me through to Tokyo.
Okay, cool. I downloaded stuff on my iPad. But the Garuda flight over had its screen.
Yep.
But the selection of movies wasn't great.
It's also
Like it had
random.
Yeah, it had Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers,
Yep.
but not the other ones. And it had
Okay.
like Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, but none of the others. So it was just very random. Oh, I watched the third in this series.
I saw
You know what I
someone on
mean?
the Malaysian Airlines flight that was watching Back to the Future 2.
Okay.
Like, you got 6 hours on this flight. You can watch all
You
of
can
them
watch
if
all
you
three
want.
of them, yeah.
You can start at 1 and just go through.
Hmm.
I also saw a guy on TikTok, speaking of Lord of the Rings, who ended up with a row to himself. So
Yep.
what he did was on each screen played a different Lord of the Rings movie.
At the same time.
He started them all at the same time. So he had Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King all going at once. Then he took over the row in front and played the 3 Hobbit movies.
I had a spare seat next to me on the flight over,
Oh,
which was good.
I didn't, even though behind me was a completely empty row.
We could just ask them to move.
No, because then I'll end up on TikTok.
Just say, oh, sorry, do you mind if I just sit there so I have more room? Just do it very subtly.
Because then someone records on their reels and there's, oh, look at this entitled millennial thinking he can choose wherever he sits on the plane.
Well, you
If
can
he-
choose where you sit in the plane.
If he wanted to sit in his whole row, he should have chosen his seat when he booked the whole row.
What mine came up with was, okay,
Mm.
so it doesn't relate to movies,
Doesn't matter.
but it relates to flying.
If anybody is listening to this podcast and expects us to talk about movies flat out for 40 minutes, they are not still listening.
They've never listened before either. So you could check into flight 48 hours before.
Correct.
And then choose your seats. So I was on the same flight as mum and dad and our auntie.
Yep.
And so then, because mum and dad went on and chose their seats,
Yep.
they had their seats. And then Auntie Judy tried to do it online, but I wouldn't let her. And so then
Is that code for couldn't work it out?
No, I think it wouldn't let her for some reason.
Oh, okay.
She's on the no-fly list. You know how she was blacklisted from that
From the
caravan
caravan
park in Moama?
Echuca. Yep.
Same thing. Anyway, she's probably listening to this. So anyway,
No offense.
I've said the same joke to her face, I think.
It's all right. You just say I love you at the end of it. And you can say what you like.
And then I went to check in, and I'm doing it, and I said to Mum, "Oh, what seats were you?" And they were like 38, blah and blah. And I'm like, okay, row 40. Like, I'm going to spend the whole week with you. I don't need to sit next to you on a 6-hour flight
6 hour flight.
as well.
Correct. That's fair.
And then after you check in, then a little bit later they say there's still a seat next to you. You can pay to guarantee
Oh, really?
having a spare seat next to you. And I went, oh, no, I don't think I want to do that because it was like $150
Oh,
or something.
no.
So I'm like, or it was like 1,800,000.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Indonesians.
yeah. So
The money, not the people.
then I went, oh, let me just. Then the next day I said, oh, let me just go on and have a look. And it was still, the seat next to me was still available, but looking at all the other seats, they were taken.
Oh.
And I was like, so I know that Auntie Judy hadn't checked in yet. So what's the chances she's going to check in and it'll be the next to me because it's the only seat left? And then I checked in and then she checked in and then I go, oh, what seat are you? She's like, a 21 thing. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, no, not great as in great, but like, oh, good.
I've got a spare.
I've got a spare, I think, still. And lucky I didn't pay for it because I didn't need it.
It's a bit of a thing online, a bit of a trend of people book the whole row, but of refundable tickets, and then just before check-in closes or whatever,
Yeah.
they cancel their ticket and get the refund,
Or
in
I've
the hope
seen-
that they
yeah.
have the spares.
I've seen people do, 2 people flying.
Yeah,
And it's a 3 thing. You'll book an aisle, I'll book a window, other way around.
yeah.
And leave the one in between in the hopes.
No, I want the aisle.
Well, I want the aisle.
Oh well,
We'll just sit opposite the anyway. Next time we fly. In
in the hopes that
the
someone
hopes
sees
that
a one.
nobody
Yeah.
books it.
But then you run the risk of, like I said, one of those entitled people being like, oh, my husband's in 23. Can we just swap?
No, I have to say this about this
Oh,
guy.
I hate that. I hate that.
I had to
I
say
hate
this
that.
about this guy on the flight back, flew Virgin. And after my bag got checked for the 8th time at Denpasar Airport.
Oh, that's so annoying. Denpasar, at least put a sign up that it's going to happen.
Yep. And then don't sit. I was sitting in the gate to fly out, and then
They kick you out of the
then
gate
they go, you have to get out so we can put rope around you and herd you into this pen.
and check your bags.
Check your bag again.
Yeah.
Anyway. So then randomly, there was a few of us just sitting, I was probably one of the first to get my bag checked at the gate. And so then the woman came over and was like, said to a couple of people, oh, can I grab your passport and your boarding pass to check? And then you can be priority boarding.
Yep.
And so they said that to those people, and I'm just sitting there going, come on, come on. She came over to me eventually and did it. And then I said, oh, we'll go up the thing. And this guy was like, I said, I don't know why they did this. And he's like, yeah, neither do I. He said, oh, but when I checked in, they asked me to move my seat so a family could sit together. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And I went, okay, like, you're a bit of a dick then.
Was he traveling on his own?
Yeah.
See, if you're traveling on your own,
Yeah, but if somebody asked me that, I would have been like, oh, you mean an upgrade? That's
Yeah.
what I would have done.
but if someone's traveling, if I was when I was traveling on my own, like I flew to Japan on my own because Shane was already there. If someone had been like, "Oh, do you mind swapping?"
Yeah.
I would have, as long as it was an aisle. I want to sit on an aisle because
Yeah.
I have stupid restless legs and a tiny bladder.
Yep.
If someone had come up to me and Shane, because some of the big long hauls have 4 in the middle.
Yes.
So if it was like mother, child, Shane and I, and someone said, would you, me, mind moving so dad can sit there? Well,
Yeah.
then, no. I booked a seat with my
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
You can choose your seats when you check in. You can also choose your seats when you book the flight.
If you have that many people and you want to sit together,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas Shane and I sitting together, we're like, whatever. Especially at the end of the trip. We spent 5 weeks, every
Yeah.
minute of the day together in Japan.
Yep.
If we're not sitting together on the plane, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because then once we did get to Bali and the other family and friends were around, people were trying to move away from me at the breakfast table so Shane could sit next to me. Like, no.
No, that's fine.
I've had breakfast with him for 5 weeks. We don't have to sit together anymore.
Yeah. But then it was interesting because they said, oh, you get priority. And then you get priority, but it's not priority boarding to get on the plane. It's priority boarding just to get on the bus that's going to take you to the plane. So it
priority-
really doesn't matter.
It's always priority to just join the next queue.
Yeah, it
'Cause
really
then
doesn't
you
matter.
queue for boarding, then you queue to get on the plane, and then you queue because people don't understand the difference between checked luggage and carry-on luggage.
Yeah.
Try to take 4 bags onto a plane. What did you watch though when Garuda had its own screen?
So on the Garuda screen, I watched a movie called Richard Jewell, which was on there, and I knew that it was nominated for some Oscar. I couldn't remember which, and I couldn't look it up because I was in airplane mode.
Screenplay.
So I watched it. It was nominated for Kathy Bates is in it, so she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She
Okay.
plays the main guy's mum, and it's a decent story.
Kathy Bates from Matlock.
From Matlock,
Yeah.
yeah. She plays the mum of this guy who's a security guard during the Atlanta Olympics, based on a true story.
Okay.
And he's a bit of an odd thing, and he's always expecting the worst and very observant and a bit probably autistic.
Right.
And there's this thing and blah, blah, blah. And then he notices people with a backpack that's odd one day, but nothing happens. Then he notices, oh, it's a bit odd with a backpack next day. And then it explodes. Anyway. So then the actual story really is just about then the police think that he's somehow involved in it
Because he knew about it.
because he knew too much about it.
Yeah.
So he thinks he was in cahoots with the guy that did it.
Yeah.
And they didn't know who did it. So that's what it was about. Then it was like this kind of, it was a weird thing because it wasn't suspenseful and it wasn't courtroom drama because they never went to a courtroom.
And it wasn't mystery because they weren't trying to solve the.
Yes, that's
Bombing?
what I thought about it because it wasn't then John Hamm, the policeman in the background that works for the FBI, trying to solve who did it. It was more just then trying to pin it on him,
Oh.
just so we could pin it on someone. So it was a bit of a weird movie that had a decent story, but it didn't have quite a point.
Didn't grip you.
No, and I think if it was not based on a true story, the better twist of an ending would have been that he wasn't cahoots.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so it's a bit odd. Like it was good. Kathy Bates was good. The main guy is that he's that weird dude. His name's like Paul Walter Hausen or something. He's that dumpy looking dude, looks a bit weird. Anyway.
What's he been in?
He's been in what was he in? I, Tonya?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That recent Blackbird miniseries with Taron Egerton.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, so maybe you haven't seen him in anything. So that doesn't help.
Was he in a Marvel movie? You can give
Maybe
me
he was. I don't know, but I haven't seen him in a Marvel movie. But John Hamm's in it as well. He was all right. And then, oh wait, which one?
Can I say?
Olivia Wilde.
Can I say overrated? John Hamm.
Yeah, you can. That's fine.
Yeah, thanks.
He had a big hit with a massive TV show that was very good, and now he can do whatever he wants.
But was it him that was good about the TV show? Was
Well-
the TV show good?
I think it was the TV show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to say Olivia Wilde.
The one that wasn't in Don't Worry, Darling.
Is that Olivia Munn? There is an Olivia actress in it, and she's not good.
Oh.
She's just a bit odd, and she plays this reporter that's just a bit too much. Like, it's just trying a bit too hard, and it's not. I didn't enjoy her.
Speaking of actresses that are not good, my least favourite Nepo baby, or my top
Bryce
two.
Dallas Howard.
No. With Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans in the new bisexual movie.
Dakota Johnson.
Ugh.
Is it bad?
I don't know. I'm not going to watch it.
It looks bad. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
There's 2 movies out with actresses that I'm like, ugh. I like Chris Evans, and apparently I have to like Pedro Pascal or I'll be banned from the
Yeah,
internet.
I'm not a huge fan.
But with Dakota Johnson, I'm like, ugh. Also, from the world of John Wick,
I don't get it. I don't know John Wick. I haven't watched any of them. There's a dog.
I love the John Wicks, right? Because it is similar to kind of my thoughts on Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. It's just fighting and shit blows up,
Yep.
right? And the story doesn't matter as much. The story is decent in the John Wicks and in Rogue Nation. But you kind of killing 10 guys with a pencil, you kind of put the possibility of that actually happening in real life out of your mind because Keanu Reeves is really good at fighting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But to continue to cash in on the success of the franchise when Keanu Reeves has said, I'm fucking almost 60 and my knees are shot. Ballerina, starring the worst bit about that movie to do with the phone with Chris Evans and the fighting that we watched on Netflix, Apple TV. Ghosted.
I
Chris
didn't watch
Evans
that.
and Anna de
Anna
Armas.
de Armas.
Anna de Armas.
You don't like Anna de Armas?
No.
Oh.
I've seen her in 3 movies.
I've seen her in 2.
I've seen her in 3 movies, right? Ghosted. Terrible.
No.
Terrible movie, but she's also not good. And I've seen her in...
Knives Out.
4 movies.
Okay.
Knives Out.
Knives Out. Very
Good.
good. She's good.
Then she's in a Bond with Daniel Craig.
No Time to Die. I thought she was all right in that.
No Time to Die. Good in that. Blonde.
Trash.
I do not... It's...
Blade Runner?
I know Dakota Johnson's going to be bad in the bisexual movie that I can't remember the name
we're
of.
all prepared for
Yeah.
her to be bad because, shock, she is. So you know going in that you're not watching. If I'm going to go see that movie, which I'm not going to pay for,
I've got
I
to look
am
up the
not
name so I
watching-
can stop calling it
it's
the
like-
bisexual movie.
it's like Ring-Ins or Third Time's a Charm or I don't know. Anyway,
on the internet at the moment, it's called Challenges for Millennials.
the change up or something. No, I'm making up
The
words now.
substitute.
Anyway,
Dakota, it is
we are nowhere near it, are we?
Materialists.
Yeah, I told you, nowhere near it.
Materialist is an upcoming American romantic comedy film written and directed by Celine Song and starring Dakota Johnson,
Should
Chris
we go
Evans,
see
and
it?
Pedro Pascal.
So if I'm watching
Is
that
it-
movie,
is
I'm
it
not going to watch it.
bisexual, or
I
is
don't
it
know.
just like everyone wants Pedro to be bisexual, and so they're saying there's 2 guys and a girl, so it must be. We'll do
I
some
don't
more
know where the
research.
pizza place comes in, but I think that
We know Dakota's bad.
we know Dakota's bad, and I'm not watching Chris Evans because of his acting ability,
Yep.
and Pedro Pascal's all right. He's
Yes.
overhyped. Like, I get it, but I don't find him that attractive,
Do you
which
know
will shock people.
because of the ethnicity of his name?
Mm.
You know what? You know what it is? He's not like Chris Evans attractive.
Yeah, he's
like
not-
you look at him and he's conventionally beautiful,
Mm.
but he's a very good guy. And obviously
Yeah.
the queer community loves him because of how supportive he is of his trans sister.
Yeah.
And
Could be. Imagine if it comes out that he's like a complete asshole.
that would ruin
Like who? Oh, James Corden. That's
that
not a
would
shock.
ruin people's lives. If
Could you
that
imagine?
came out. I don't think that'll happen. I think he's good.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Something else I watched on the plane, speaking of things coming out and damaging someone's career, I decided I wanted to watch House of Cards again.
Oh, fuck, that was a good show.
It's
Are we allowed to watch it?
it's very good.
Yeah.
I'm watching it because this is
I'll watch it for Robin Wright.
Robin Wright's very good, but also watching it. Spoiler if you haven't watched it, it's fucking 13 years old. It was one of Netflix's first shows.
Do you remember?
You
I
were
was
ahead of me.
ahead, and
Yeah.
then it was the first episode of the second season, and you just sent me a text
No,
that
'cause
was.
you were like,
I was like, get
something,
ready.
like something happens to the reporter. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just sent you the fucking train.
he pushed her in front of a train.
He pushed her in front of a train. So
Spoilers.
my thing for cancelling, right, is I've heard as much Michael Jackson on the radio as I ever have.
Okay. Yep.
So if we can uncancel Michael Jackson, I feel like I can watch a really good show of House of Cards. And if people continue to be okay with everybody still watching the new Harry Potter series on HBO,
Mm.
and Tom Felton can say, oh, everybody has, Harry Potter has brought so much joy to people, so I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
then I can watch House of Cards.
Well, because here's the thing. She's getting her money anyway.
Oh, I
So
thought you were
people
going
are
to say,
like, I'm
here's-
not going to watch Harry Potter so J.K. Rowling doesn't get any money. 1, she's not going to notice. 2, she's got enough. 3, she's going to get more money anyway.
also 4, Kevin Spacey hasn't sponsored a transphobic bill in Parliament.
Yeah.
So I can watch Kevin Spacey.
He did the right thing of, bye, everybody.
Oh, I fucked up. I'm going to step back.
Yep.
Very good. And I haven't watched season 6 because I was up to then and Kevin Spacey got cancelled, so I kind of stopped watching it.
Oh, because the last season he's not in it.
He's not in it because she becomes president.
Yes.
So I can't remember exactly what happens there, but I know she does become president because the promo shot on Netflix is her sitting on the throne.
Yeah.
There are hints of her not being happy and her wanting more, and not just her being with him together, that obviously pay off later.
Yeah, from memory, I think there was some coercion of him to make her vice president or something. Anyway,
That's like
whatever.
in season 4, but
Yeah.
even in season 1, which at the first time you're watching, you're just like, well, she wants to be probably first lady.
She was so good in that show.
She is so good
She
in
was
that
very
show.
just like, which was very controlled and very good. Except I remember there was this one thing where she was working at this like non-for-profit, and this woman. Anyway, I can't remember, but she said this one line. It was like fucking shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She just has, in season 1, she just has moments of being the strong bitch.
you know what else I watched on the plane?
What?
Trap.
Okay.
Because you recently watched it and we talked about it in an episode.
I did watch it and I liked it.
I don't know if I was not watching it in the right environment where I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
But it was good. Josh Hartnett was good,
You're not a horror guy.
but it also wasn't horror.
No.
But it wasn't suspenseful to me. I think a bit towards the end it was suspenseful where he was trying to get out and then was in
The car and the limo
with the Shyamalan's daughter.
Speaking of Nepo babies.
Yeah, and then she was actually pretty good.
She
I
was
thought.
good. She's better than Dakota Johnson and she's a Nepo grandbaby.
I think she was better than that British woman. But I agree with what you were saying about like
The sound.
the sound and the just to recap, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy getting 12 hours into a operation that would have been planned for weeks.
Yep.
Going, just remember, as we start this operation, this is the step-by-step that we are going to remember.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and everything that she said seemed like a voiceover rather than a radio communication.
Yeah, it was very much just like you're playing a video game and the voiceover goes, now remember, you have to go to this part of the map to save your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of voice too.
Press L2 to time travel.
Yeah, and an oddly British voice.
Yeah. But
Josh Hartnett was good.
Josh Hartnett was good.
The girl was
The girl
good.
was good. The acting was good. I just think that it was like you can't. I just feel like they jumped the shark. No, buried the lead.
No, reheated the nachos.
Reheated the nachos.
None of those things apply. I think M. Night Shyamalan has the reputation as the twist master,
So he has to have a big twist.
but I don't think he held the twist well enough in this
No.
because maybe it's me, maybe my tism switched off when I was watching it because when it was kind of big hinted that he was the baddie,
Yep.
I was like, oh, is he the baddie? And Shane's like, yeah.
I feel like we knew that from the trailer though.
I didn't.
Okay, maybe I didn't watch the
But
trailer,
even
actually.
if intentionally, well, Shane reckons he knew it from the trailer, which means he did. I don't know why I said reckons. Shane knew it from the trailer. But I think that's a twist that he didn't make a twist.
Yeah.
If we had
It was he's acting weird. Why is he acting weird? You could have thought he was the thing, and then the twist at the end is him going to Shyamalan girl going, I have to get out of here because they're looking for me. So
Yeah.
we find out when she finds out.
And he can still ask the guy for the T-shirt out the
Man,
back.
we could rewrite a lot of movies really well.
He could
For
just be
our
like
opinion,
a
we're great.
weird, creepy guy that's into what the FBI is doing there.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, and they could have made little bits of things like, oh, he steals a radio because he's a weird, wants to listen to the radio or something.
Yeah.
Or he suddenly decides he wants to get her backstage. We don't know the full reason why.
It could just be that he's a good father.
And then later, once he says to daughter Shyamalan, this is what's going on,
Yep.
all of those other things get put together.
Yep. Like, why do you keep looking at your phone?
Yeah.
And then he shows her his phone going, here's this guy that's,
Yeah. Like
in my
when
basement.
Bryce Dallas Howard jumps the fence in the only thing I'll enjoy watching of her in The Village, and there's a road there.
Oh, yeah.
Then you go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's a little isolated thing. It's
Yep.
not old or whatever.
Yep. Anyway.
It's better than old. I'll still say that. It's better than old.
Well, I'm not going to watch that now.
Don't, because it's bad.
Yep.
It's just not good. Anything else you watched on the plane?
I watched Twisters,
Oh, Glenn
both
Powell.
of them. Glenn Powell, that girl who was clearly putting on an American accent,
Oh,
Daisy
really?
Edgar Jones, clearly British. I don't know if she's done much more.
Okay.
Maybe she did something with Paul Mescal a while ago.
Paul, and was he wearing short shorts?
He probably
Because
was.
that's all I ever see on my feed of Paul Mescal.
Yeah, true. And then that guy that was in Hamilton.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
No, the younger one. That played his son and also another character, very confusingly. It was an action movie about twisters. That was, some of it was so far fetched. I'm never going to Oklahoma
Okay.
because there is a tornado every 5 minutes.
yeah,
That's
okay,
what
yep.
happened in this movie.
Yep, yep.
They're like, oh, we go to Oklahoma and we want to chase this twister. And then they go chase it. Oh, we missed it. And then it was almost like, don't worry, there'll
Yeah.
be another one soon.
Like you're in
And
Tokyo.
then
I
she-
missed the train. Oh, there's another one coming in 3
Yeah.
minutes.
And then she's just kind of standing there and she's just like, huh? The wind changed.
Oh.
Tornado. Like, it was just a bit like, really? Like, the effects and the sound of the tornadoes was good.
Even on your Bluetooth headphones on the plane.
Even on my AirPods, watching it on my phone. Yeah, it was an action movie. It was just very average.
Can I say, I think if you are the entertainment selector for an airline,
Yeah.
just choose lighthearted things.
Well, yeah.
Like Lee, right?
Oh,
The movie
God.
Lee with
Nothing with nudity in it.
Kate Winslet boop,
Yeah.
in it. Very heavy to
Yeah.
be watching
No
on an
movies-
overnight flight
yeah.
from Malaysia to Tokyo.
No movies about war. No movies with sex scenes or nudity.
Yeah.
Because I could just be watching this and then Kate Winslet's in there with her tits out and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Well,
awkward.
I think I actually saw on the list Oppenheimer. Like
I saw-
but also like I was flying to Japan.
Uh,
Like, is
yeah.
that the choice? To watch Oppenheimer.
Oh, wait, was that the right?
That was the applause. To watch Oppenheimer. But also like there's just all of a sudden they're both sitting there nude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not when you
Yeah.
want the flight attendant to walk past you.
Yeah, no. But
There's
it's
an
all-
iconic
it's
there's an
hilarious.
iconic thing of that comes up on my reels all the time of a guy that is watching Red, White, and Royal Blue on a plane,
Oh my God.
and then he just fast forwards through the sex scene and keeps watching it.
Well, it's a bit awkward. There was also one of the options I could have watched coming home was Barbie. And I was tempted.
That's okay.
Like, I was tempted, but I'd seen it before. So I was like, you've got my attention because I can't do anything else except fall asleep. And I didn't, which was annoying. Anyway, but the guy in front of me to the right clearly wasn't a fan. He got about
really?
20 minutes in. He was like, nope. I was like, oh, shit, all right. But he was
I-
probably like a 60-year-old dude.
Oh yeah, it's not made for him.
He was the second youngest people on the flight, the oldest people were the people sitting in the exit row. I'm like,
Right. Are they going to be able to lift
I
the
was
door?
like, if we go down, we're fucked. We're probably fucked anyway. But if we go down, I'm like, I'm going to have to help these old people out.
Yeah.
She's going to have to get a walker out to get the slide. Anyway.
I could have watched Wicked Part 1,
Mm-hmm,
but decided not to because small screen, Bluetooth speakers.
And
I want
wanna
to watch
sing
it
along.
properly.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
need the
and I wanna
sound
sing
and
along.
Yeah.
And so that was about all I watched. A couple of Mission Impossibles, a couple of episodes of House of Cards, half of Naked Gun.
This is great.
I did, not on this flight, on the flight before. I was watching a movie, but the guy sitting there was watching a movie called Game Night.
Oh, yeah, with...
And I love that movie with
Yes.
Jason Bateman
Yes.
and Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
And I love it. And so I was watching my movie, but also watching that movie. And because I know it, I was like, oh, this bit's good.
This woman front to the left of me, because that's the thing that I find funny is that you can see everybody else's screen.
Yeah.
Dad decided on the way over to watch Argo because he thought a Ben Affleck movie would get him to sleep.
It is, to be fair, it's Ben
probably his
Affleck's
best one.
best, but also most boring movie.
And she was watching this movie that was like My Dog Skip. And it was some random thing with Frankie Muniz pre-Malcolm in the Middle. That's how young he was.
Oh, not
And he
pre-Malcolm
has
in the
this,
Middle
like-
reboot.
No. And he has this like dog. I'm like, what? Anyway, there weren't a lot of good options on there.
See, I feel like there was a lot of good options on Malaysia, and I
Yeah.
made a playlist, but then I didn't watch any of them because
Can
I
make
slept.
a playlist.
Well, you can favorite ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think the Garuda stuff was a bit, might need an upgrade.
There would have been a lot of, like on the Malaysia one, there was a lot of Malaysian
Yeah.
and Indian
Yeah.
shows as well. There would have been a lot of Indonesian and other Asian countries shows on the Garuda playlists.
Yeah. And the thing I like about travel, okay, travel good, getting on a plane and getting off a plane, annoying as fuck,
Yep.
right? Once you're on there, I'm like, fine. And then going to a place,
it.
okay, cool.
At the place,
whatever.
good.
But anyway. If you go traveling, it really shows you how stupid the general public is. And I find it so entertaining
Fucking
sometimes.
terrible.
This woman must have said about 8 times, probably even before we took off, oh, I just can't believe there's no port to charge your phone. What? Which is a fair point considering they don't let you use the power bank.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get. You're not allowed to use your power bank, and then some planes they don't have the charger.
Yeah.
But also, or maybe on the Garuda one you have a screen, but if on the Verge one you don't have a screen and you've got to watch your own device, you're going to run out of battery.
Well, you could just do what these 2 girls that were next to me on the way home did and just sleep the whole time, which I was fine. Like,
Yeah.
don't get up and bother me. One got up twice, but that's fine. It's 6 hours. I can deal with that. But then don't fill out your
Customs form.
form as we're landing.
Yeah.
Don't go, oh, crap. I need to put my table down now so I can fill out this form.
Because there's also places to do that in the airport.
Well, I did it on the
you
plane.
but you can do it while you wait for your baggage.
Yeah.
Because there's a table and there's spare
But they
forms
were
in the
doing
gate
this.
lounges.
They were doing this weird flight, which I don't know. It must have been cheaper.
Mm.
They were going Denpasar to Sydney
Yep.
via Melbourne.
That's
I sneaked a peek at their ticket.
So, but they're going through customs in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, they're entering Australia in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But I don't get. It's not like there's no direct flight from Denpasar to Sydney, and it's not like there's only one.
Yeah.
There's like one every 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's
and
strange.
maybe we should have just talked about flights. There was this guy because I got my bag checked for the 3rd time, I think, at this stage
Yes.
through the scanner. You
Yep.
go in, scan, go to the desk, in, scan,
Check in
again,
security, then
scan your passport,
Yep.
go in. There's a guy that was like a few people behind me, and he was just limping, and I'm like, oh, and he clearly got a new leg tattoo,
Oh, yeah.
and it was infected as fuck that it was like seeping. It was like dripping past down his leg.
Because bogans in Bali, they get the tattoo and you're meant to not swim for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
I've literally seen someone walk in with a fresh tattoo and dive in the pool at the resort. Like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah, so it got affected, and then his left foot was like swollen. I'm like, how are you going to get on a flight like that? Also, do the right thing and wrap the fucking thing up so we
Get
don't
the
have to
Glad
look at
wrap.
it.
Yeah.
It was just rank. And then Mum said he reckons that he was on their flight.
Oh.
Said, yick. Anyway, everybody was pretty good on the planes.
Yeah. Anything else we watched when we flew? Not really. I listened to a few
no.
podcasts. Slept a little bit. Not
I
very
watched the
good.
map. I'm like, oh, fuck, we're still in Australia? Jesus Christ.
They didn't have a map on
On-
Jetstar
no.
Home. They didn't have screens.
Virgin, they didn't, so.
All right.
yeah,
Next week
great.
on Rainbow Popcorn, we are going to review a camp classic.
We are going to review
If you would
a
like
camp
to
classic.
suggest movies for us to view or TV shows, because we have just reviewed Overcompensating as well.
Is it time to do Hocus Pocus again yet? No.
No, we got 4 months
Okay.
because it's June. We're getting to October.
Mhm.
Hocus Pocus is a camp classic. We need another gay horror movie.
Okay.
So let us know in the Facebook group, search for Rainbow Popcorn Podcast, or follow us on the socials at Rainbow Popcorn Pod. And let us know if there's movies or TV shows that you would like us to watch with a queer lens. Or
Yeah.
if they were made with a queer lens,
Yep.
being a lens held by a queer person. Then we'll choose from that. That's it. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Bratz.
Thanks, Lee.